Hey, I'm Jeff the Check Seller, and this presentation is going to be about a buying trip that I just took to the northeast part of Texas on the Texas state line and Louisiana state line. I've traveled into Louisiana a bit. I didn't. I really This was probably one of the worst buying trips that I've made, but I did end up coming up with a pretty good prize in DeBerry, Texas, which is just barely into Texas. But I started out there on a Wednesday on the 18th. Um, on the drive out, I went to Big Sandy. There was a shop out there that I wanted to stop in and see. She had some photographs. We couldn't come to terms on them when I was out there previously. I wanted to see if she'd maybe rethought about it and maybe would accept my offer now. But she wasn't there. She was away. I was able to buy some sterling salt and pepper shakers. There was a whole handful of them. It worked out to be like 29 grams of sterling, and I think she charged me $16 for them. And sterling, I scrapped that already. I think I got just a little over $1 a gram, so that was profitable. But I also found a big uh, a nut bowl or a candy dish that was weighted, but it was marked $25. I think that it had 87 grams total of silver, and I got a little over $87 out of that. But I paid 25. They charged me tax, but gave me a 15% discount. So somehow that $25 ended up being like 14, 70, $18, something like that. But it was profitable either way. But there was another shop out there that was just a resale shop, and she's got an awful lot of lamps. And I got a brown glass amber swag with the metal diffuser tube on the inside of it, and it was incomplete, but it's a great part. It's undamaged, and I was able to pick that up for $5. I'll probably get $40 for that. Those swags are awfully well sought after, I guess, is what I need to say. But she had that. She also had um, a brown glass, amber glass lamp that it had been marked $20 and it was half off sale, so I was able to get that for $10. I paid her $15 for the two glass pieces here, but that's probably $70 for the two of them, and I'm only in at 15. So you know what? I have to buy merchandise. Even if it's out of my wheelhouse and I'm not interested in it, I do have to get it. But I get out there and I get to a state park. I camped out at a place called Cattle Lake State Park. Out of the four state parks I've been to so far, this one is my favorite. It's the shadiest, it's the coolest, it is the quietest, and it had the best internet availability, and just absolutely wonderful park. And it's right there in Uncertain, Texas. Um, I intended on going to the flea market on Saturday, but I wound up not sticking around. I really didn't enjoy the trip, and I kind of cut out early. I went with a friend, and she was a nut. But anyway, on Thursday I scored. I got out and poked around a little bit. I got a big wash basin and a water pitcher. Um, Probably from the 1880s to 1910 or so. It was made by Globe Pottery, which I believe is out of Ohio. And this looks awfully new, but I believe that this is actually an old one. But the guy charged me $15 for it. I know what customer I have that will buy it. I'll put $75 on it and give it to her for 60. He also had a knife that was an imperial knife with the plastic handle. I believe that those scabbard knives, it didn't have a scabbard, but when it was new, it had a sheath. And I believe that those were probably Boy Scout knives. He charged me $5 for that, and a good knife like that is it's made. It was an imperial knife, so it'd be a quick $10 or $12 out here at Canton. But I stayed there Wednesday and Thursday at the park, and then I went and stayed at my friend's lake house on Friday night. Um, we scored some stuff. We went shopping, and I believe it was actually I'm getting my days kind of screwed up. Anyway, we end up in a sale in DeBerry, and it's a sale that she knew. These people were chronic sellers out there, and I got some pretty good stuff. I got a piece of cast iron that was hammered, didn't have the lid. This is one of those that you really wish that you did. I believe that it probably had a 4-in-1 lid with the big star on the top, but it has an awfully strange handle. It had dippling on the inside of the handle, which is unusual. I'll pay $5 or $10 for about any piece of American cast iron, and he charged me $5 for that one. Actually, I would have paid I'd paid about $10 for about any piece of American cast iron, but this one, I don't know what to make of it. It could be a $60 or $70 skillet, but I got a couple of miniature pieces of cast iron. I got some furniture or some jewelry, some little junk jewelry, and I got a piece of cloisonne. I paid $20 for it. I have a vendor out here that I believe will pay me $35 for it. If she doesn't, I'll sell it for $40 or $45. And I can't really think that I got too much more there, except that I got I got a maple. It's a bird's eye maple roller, but I paid like a dough roller, and I paid $7 for it, which seems high. But when you know that it's bird's eye maple, and this has a lot of good figuring in the wood, it's probably a $20 roller or rolling pin. So I didn't mind paying that for that. But I got a piece of silver. There will be more stuff that comes up when I go to putting the pictures up. I'll realize that I missed some stuff. But I wound up picking up a piece of silver, and it wasn't marked sterling. It was a little nut dish. It was incredibly light, and I can make out a name. I couldn't read it because I didn't have my loop with me, and I went ahead and got it. And I think everything that I got there was I had a whole box full of stuff, and it was like $85. And I was a little bit concerned. It seemed like an awful lot of money for what I generally pay. But we got it out and finished shopping for the day, but I did some research along the way, and I found out that this was Joseph Lentz and brothers, and they were it was a Jewish family that ended up they were somewhere in North Texas, and then they ended up in Sherman, I believe, and then they ended up in Dallas. And by 1904, they had I think a 7-story building downtown in Dallas, and they did prestigious, high quality work. They were I found a pocket watch that I could comp, and they wanted like $3,500 for a pocket watch. And I've seen clocks by them that are like $1,500, $2,000. Um, but I researched hollowware, and I couldn't find any silver hollowware by them. So I don't know. This may be a really premium piece. It weighed 97 and a half grams. I think I probably paid $5 for it. But that piece, if I just went and scrapped it, it would pay for everything. But why do it? I mean, it may be worth $300 or $400 if I find a good Dallas collector. It is a good Dallas piece. But we finished up with going to a few thrift shops that she likes to go to, and I got some books. They were They were 3 volumes. They cost me all of 25 cents a piece, but they were old magazines. They were bound for library use, bound in blue buckram, and they were from 1950 and 1954. One of them has an article about Willie Mays. There was some good, a lot of Soviet stuff, a lot of Chinese stuff in there. It was probably they were apparently pretty big news back then too, in 50 and 54. But we went to another one where I got an Indian fleece blanket. It cost me $2, and I think that is probably about $60 blanket is what I'll be able to get for it out here. I think it actually runs a little higher than that, but I won't be able to get but 60 for it here. I may run that on eBay if I can't get anybody to pay me right here, but which is sometimes the case. But I bugged out. I believe it was Friday. I left out of there. I just it just I got hot. I felt sick. I actually got sick for a couple of days, but I headed back and went to Lake Tawakoni State Park. Stayed there for a couple of days, but I shot Saturday out this way, and I found 3 sales. I found a $3 Stangle bird that unfortunately has a chip under the tail. I missed that somehow. Yeah, I'll probably get my $3 back. If it hadn't had the chip, it would have been $25. But I got 2 train photographs that were $3 each, and these are good old original photographs, nicely framed. I was pretty happy with those. Generally, you like to get a whole box of those, but I have a lot of other train photographs, and I don't sell those very well. But I need to get to a train show. There are such things, and I think that if I took all that stuff to a train show, that I might be able to get real money for it instead of trying to push it at a flea market where there may be one train guy in the whole crowd. But I got a Batman belt buckle for $1 at one sale. It took me about 8 miles off course, but that's the nature of going on these picking trips, and they can be really really tough. I don't know that I'll ever get my fuel paid for on this one, but that's just how it goes sometimes. You can't win every time, otherwise everybody would do it. But if you've enjoyed this presentation, please give me a like. If you have enjoyed it, then please view some of my other presentations. And if you like those as well, then please subscribe. But thank you for viewing.